Yes, guys, welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. It is just hours away up before Arsenal play their first game in 6 years in the UEFA Champions League. And I tell you what, guys, I'm absolutely nervous. I'm very, very nervous. But in this one, I want us to dive into kind of a picture, to share the picture of what Arsenal are going into, the whole edition, the group stage as well, how these teams are going to be lining up against us, how they're going to be facing Arsenal. Because what we've seen already in the Premier League is clubs sitting back, letting Arsenal have the possession, letting Arsenal run the show, and then eventually hitting us on the break and trying to break us down. I don't think that's what PSV will do. I don't think that's what Sevilla will do. Probably FC Lens. Lens are in France, and they have this kind of system where they sit back against a PSG, they sit back against a Marseille, they sit back against a Lyon and things like that. But PSV, you don't expect them to sit back. You don't expect Sevilla to sit back as well. And in this game, what are the mental requirements that Arsenal need to actually see us through? Now, just to give you some bit of a picture, the Arsenal under 19s have played the PSV under 19s at home, and they have lost that game 2-1. The PSV under 19s have been in this competition for a very long time, and when I was actually when I was monitoring that game, when I was looking at how it was actually going down, because Arsenal under 19 scored first, I knew at some point in time PSV were going to score. And I knew at some point in time they would come back from behind and win this game. The pedigree they have in this competition is absolutely, great as compared to our under 19s. Obviously, you must know that every team that qualifies for the Champions League, their under 19 team automatically qualifies for the under 19 Champions League as well, right? So Arsenal under 19s have already qualified for the UEFA Champions League in their kind of setting. But let's get into the big one. Let's get into Arsenal, PSV, I think the mature ones, the mature teams, the main teams, the under 19s didn't win, but I expect them to at least do much better in the next game against FC Lens. So when you look at PSV, the one thing you want to think about is quality. The one thing you want to think about is attacking football, and the other thing you will think about is total football. So they are descendants of Rijkaard. They are descendants of a football system that wants the team to have the ball. They want to have the ball. They want to exert dominance, and I don't think Arsenal played a team really this campaign, a team that wants to be on the ball a lot of the time, Brighton style, Brentford style. I don't think we played that kind of team. The teams we played in this season so far: Fulham, Man United, Everton, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, they're happy to let you have the ball. They're happy to actually not even press you on the front foot. They're happy to let you come into their own half, and then they will start the pressing, and they want to play that ball in behind. So you look at you look at the key players for all those teams. Man United, Marcus Rashford and Rasmus Højlund. Those are two players with top speed and can spin in behind. Everton, you have Dwight McNeil, again another top player, key speed and can spin in behind as well, and Beto as well. Crystal Palace, I mean, we know what Crystal Palace do. We know what they want to do, how they want to play. They want to be very, very quick in the transition. Fulham as well, much more like that. And Nottingham Forest, the goal we conceded is a characteristic of what teams think of Arsenal. Now, why these performances are very important to us, especially to this game that we are going into, is games don't exist in a vacuum for me. I think PSV will look at all these other teams that have played against Arsenal already. They have lost their games. Apart from Fulham, the rest of them have lost their games. And that is a key statement from Arsenal that whether we have the ball, 75% of possession, whether you sit back as deep as Everton did last campaign and Everton did this campaign, we will unlock you, we will score, and we will actually walk away with the 3 points. So I think PSV will be coming in this game very prepared for us, right? They have the big picture. They have the ultimate picture of what Arsenal are about. We are not about, transition football. That is not what we do. We are actually much better having the ball and then finding and grinding out the the chances and the spaces ourselves. But what is this game going to look like, and what are the key things you should expect as Arsenal take on PSV at the Emirates Stadium? Now, they're not a super quality side. And when I say super quality side, I don't mean to undermine them, but they're not Bayern, they're not Real Madrid, they're not Barcelona, they're not in that bracket, right? I wouldn't even put them in the same bracket as an FC Benfica, especially Benfica and their pedigree in the group stages of the UEFA Champions League, but also in their their pedigree in the competition generally. I wouldn't put them in that bracket. If I was to talk about PSV, I would say quality, just enough. Their quality side, just enough. They have no pressure. They play without any kind of limits. They enjoy their football and they play entertaining football for their fans. So when you're Arsenal at home and you have a visitor like PSV, you expect two things. One, they will want to grind out a result away from home because our away points are very key in the UEFA Champions League. You might see Arsenal go to the Netherlands and lose. You might see Arsenal go to France even, to Epsilons, and lose. But the moment you go away from home, pick up a point, pick up 3 points. If you've watched my match reaction on the 90 More podcast, I've actually said that Newcastle have just gotten themselves a very key point on day one of the UEFA Champions League, because away nights, away games are tricky. They're very difficult. The environment is different, stadiums are different, atmospheres are different. You want to take all the 3 points at home, and that's what Arsenal should be looking at. But PSV will be coming in this game knowing we've played them before. They know the players we have, they know the manager, they know the tactics, and they know how to stop us because they've done it before. They actually beat us 2-1. Was it 2-0 or 2-1? I think at the Frank Rijkaard Stadium last season. So it's going to be a very, very interesting one. How do Arsenal respond to this new PSV side? Not sitting back, industrious, young, energetic, and they would love to play quick football. They would love to play nice football, to come on the big stage and share every metric with Arsenal. Mikel Arteta, the stubborn manager that he is, and one of the things I really like about him is the fact that he is stubborn. Yeah, I mean, at times he's very arrogant and I don't like it, but I like a stubborn manager. I like a manager who goes, well, you are going to open up yourselves. How about we stick to our plan and see who actually does it better? So I don't expect Mikel Arteta to actually change a lot of tactics, players, manpower. I don't expect him to do that, and honestly, we should not do it. We are at the Emirates Stadium. It's our own stadium. It's our environment. We've got to be as difficult at home as anywhere else. Now, I don't have a problem with him playing Brice Nelson in this game if he feels that Brice Nelson is going to be a key player in exploiting PSV's space in behind. I don't have a problem with that. But what I mean is we shouldn't change our whole game plan. We shouldn't change our architectural plan because PSV are visiting. I don't think so, right? Spurs will be visiting this stadium this coming weekend. Maybe against Spurs, I would change the architecture plan, but I wouldn't change the tactical plan courtesy of PSV visiting. So I expect Mikel Arteta and Arsenal to line up the same way, attack this game in a very, very similar way, and we might actually see more dominance from Arsenal in this game as compared to the other games. It could be that because Mikel Arteta knows that they will be coming to stop us from dominating possession, he might actually go with Rice and Jorginho. It's just an anticipation. He might go with Rice and Jorginho just to make sure that we have total control, and then we can start to look for those spaces as well in behind. So it's gonna be an interesting game, but it's going to be about mental blocks. It's gonna be about the psychology. It's gonna be about how do Arsenal respond mentally to the task of playing every 3 days? How do Arsenal, mentally deal with a win away at Goodson, which is a morale booster, a fixture 2 days later, or actually 3 days later, against PSV, and then after that, how do we deal with the fact that we are playing PSV at home, and then we have to play Tottenham Hotspur as well? So it's a psychological question for me. It's a psychological game. Arsenal have not been here for a long time. The players that we have in the squad have not played UEFA Champions League for a very long time. So Odegaard, long time. Really long time. Thomas Partey, long time. Zinchenko, long time. Jesus, they played not. They have not played in the UEFA Champions for a long time. You think about the likes of Jorginho. You think about the likes of Kai Havertz. Will he start them courtesy of Champions League pedigree? Probably yes. Probably no. Right? But whether they start or not, this is a young group of players. It reminds you of FC Porto in the 2000 under Jose Mourinho. Young but determined, right? At times, determination for me will beat the pedigree. At times, the determination will beat all the prerequisites you have in place to win a football game. But Arsenal will have to meet those prerequisites before we actually can beat them and go with the determination. So I would love to see Kai Havertz start in this game, courtesy of his pedigree. I would love to see Jorginho in this game as well, courtesy of his pedigree, and I would love to see Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. Those are players that have been on this stage. If Partey was available, then I would have loved to see Partey as well, right? But it's going to be an exciting encounter for players like Raya, Ramsdale, Ben White, Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba, all these players that have been dreaming about playing in the Champions League. Some of these players are signed for Arsenal because they believe, and they believed, a long time ago that this team would go back to the UCL. And we are finally back in the UCL. So do I see Arsenal win this game? Absolutely. I don't think Arsenal will fail to win this game. I think it's a 1-0, a 2-1, a 3-2. It might be close. It might be comfortable, but close, right? PSV probably find an equalizer somewhere, and then we edge the game, or we score 2-0, and then they find one back, and it ends 2-1. It might be one of those games where Arsenal have to see the result at the end, right? It's one where we might have 2-1, we might have to lead 2-1, but then hold on for the last 8 minutes to actually win the game, right? But I expect us to be alright, and I expect us to to be much better after this game. So it's not a game where I'm going to be looking at Arsenal's performance brilliantly. I want to see Arsenal mature. I want to see the maturity in this team. I want to see us go and, put up a fight in a competition that psychologically means so much. Although we played in Europe even last campaign, and actually I think it's a little bit much. It's a little bit much easier to play Wednesday, Saturday, as compared to Thursday, Sunday, right? But psychologically, the UCL is a big competition, and it means that you've got to be mentally prepared. Arsenal 2, PSV 1 is my prediction. I'll see you right in the next one. But guys, let's be good. That's all I'm asking for the boys. Let's be good. We've done it this campaign already. Beaten Man United, beaten the Goodson Park test. Can we win our first game in the group? It's a crucial game. A very crucial game. I'll speak to you right in the match reaction.